My child, come close and listen. Let these words settle into the quiet spaces of your heart, where the weariness lives. This is not a message from a distant sky, but from the very presence that holds your breath in its hands. I am here, in the stillness you have been too tired to find. And I speak this truth over you now, a truth that must seep into the deepest cracks of your soul. Your hardest days are no longer ahead of you. Can you hear that? Can you allow it to land, not on your mind which races with doubt, but upon your spirit, which has been waiting for this very whisper? You have carried a weight, a silent anticipation of more struggle, more pain, more climbing. You have braced yourself, thinking the next storm must be greater, the next valley must be deeper. You have lived with a horizon of hardship. That horizon, beloved, is an illusion. It is a shadow cast by past pain, not a prophecy of your future. I have seen you. I have seen you in the lonely hours, gathering your strength like scattered leaves, trying to prepare for a winter you believe is eternal. I have felt the tremor in your prayers, the way you ask for endurance for what is to come, as if the coming tide will surely be the one that finally sweeps you away. Let that fear go. Exhale that burden. The narrative you have been telling yourself, that the most difficult chapter is still unwritten, ends today. I am the author of your story, and I do not write in endless cycles of anguish. I write in arcs of redemption. I write in journeys from strength to strength. Yes, there are pages of trial, but they are never without purpose, and they are never the final word. You have just turned a page you did not even know was there. The season of accumulating blows, of one hardship stacking upon another, is reaching its completion. The burden is not meant to grow heavier from here. Think of the path behind you. Look at it with my eyes for a moment. See not just the stones that bruised your feet, but the incredible strength that formed in your legs with every single step. See not just the steep climbs, but the altitude you have gained without even realizing it. That strength, that height, is not for nothing. It was not preparation for a more brutal path. It was the forging of your being for a different landscape altogether. You keep looking ahead, squinting at the road, expecting another cliff. But what if I told you the road is beginning to gently descend into a broad valley of peace? What if the light you see is not a warning of a coming fire, but the first true dawn after a very long night? Your soul is so accustomed to the tension of preparing for battle that the very idea of peace can feel like a strange and unsettling silence. You must learn to listen to a new sound, the sound of your own heart not pounding in fear, but beating in steady, hopeful rhythm again. I am not saying you will never face another challenge. To live is to move, and to move is to encounter resistance. But the nature of the struggle is changing. The relentless, soul-crushing pressure that has defined your recent past, that season is passing. The winds are shifting. They no longer carry the bitter cold of despair, but the softening air of renewal. The hardest days, the ones that took the very light from your eyes and made prayer feel like a whisper into a void, those days are receding. They are becoming part of your testimony, not your destiny. You have been living in the before the breakthrough, before the relief, before the long, deep breath of peace. That before ends now in your spirit. I am placing within you a new compass, and its needle points not toward survival, but toward restoration. It points not toward weathering a storm, but toward building a sanctuary in the calm. So, let your shoulders relax, just a little. Unclench the hands you have held so tightly in fists of readiness. You do not need to armor your heart against a future I have already graced. Your hardest days are not ahead of you. They are behind you, and in their place, I am crafting days of meaning, of gathered strength, of a different kind of depth, one filled with understanding and quiet joy, not sharp pain. This is my promise to you, not a life without clouds, but a life where the sun is no longer a stranger. Not a path without stones, but a path that you walk with unshakable certainty of my presence beside you. The oppressive weight is lifting. Can you feel it? The anticipation of dread is being replaced with a fragile, gentle hope. Do not be afraid of this hope. It is my gift to you. It is the first true sign that the tide has turned. Good. Now let that truth settle a little deeper. It is one thing to hear a promise. It is another to let it dismantle the fortress of fear you have built inside. That fortress has walls made of memories, the memory of past pain, the memory of how long you waited for relief that didn't come, the memory of hoping only to have that hope feel dashed again. I am here, not just to make a promise, but to begin the gentle work of taking those walls down, stone by heavy stone. You have been living with a ghost, the ghost of what was, haunting your vision of what will be. You look at tomorrow, and you see the shape of yesterday's sorrows. You hear a sound in your life, and you immediately brace for the same old crash. This ghost has been your constant companion, whispering that every good moment is merely a pause before the next fall. Today I tell you to turn and face that ghost. See it for what it is. A shadow, not a substance. A memory, not a prophecy. And with my authority, speak to it. Tell it, you have no place in my future. The one who holds my future has declared my hardest days are over. This is an act of faith, child. Not a blind leap into the dark, but a deliberate step into a light I am providing. Your faith has been a shield for so long, holding back the blows. Now, let your faith become a hand, reaching forward to take hold of the goodness I have already laid out for you. The transition from defense to reception is a sacred shift. It requires you to lower the shield, to believe that the barrage has truly ceased. It requires a vulnerability that feels terrifying to a heart as scarred as yours. But I am here. I am your shield now. You do not need to carry that weight anymore. I want you to do something with me, right here in this quiet moment. Look inward. Find that knot of dread, that tight coil in your spirit that tenses at the thought of next year, next month, even tomorrow. I am not asking you to ignore it or pretend it isn't there. I am asking you to place your hand over that ache, and as you do, feel my hand covering yours. Together we will untie that knot. We will loosen it with this truth. Your story is not on repeat. I am a God of new things. I am doing a new thing in you now. Can you not perceive it? It is not a loud, crashing new thing. It is a tender green shoot, breaking through the long frozen ground of your winter. It is the subtle, irrevocable turn from enduring to expecting. Do not mistake this. I am not promising a life of perpetual ease. I am promising a change in the very fabric of your struggle. The struggles ahead are not the kind that break you. They are the kind that build you. They are not about survival. They are about growth. The difference is everything. A storm that threatens your foundation is one thing. A pruning that encourages greater fruit is entirely another. You have known the storm. Now you are entering the season of purposeful, careful cultivation. I will be the gardener. Your job is simply to remain in my light and to trust my hand. Remember the path you have walked? I want you to see it from my perspective once more. See that long, arduous stretch? That was the path through. You are now stepping off that path and onto different ground. The soil feels unfamiliar under your feet. It may even feel unsettling because it is not fraught with the familiar obstacles. You have learned to walk by navigating pain. Now you must learn to walk by following peace. Let peace be your compass. Let the quiet, steady sense of my yes be your guide, not the loud, fearful anticipation of no or more pain. There will be moments, many of them, where the old fear will rise up. A challenge will come, and your first instinct will be to think, here it is, the next hard thing, the confirmation that nothing has changed. In that moment, I need you to pause, to breathe, to remember this conversation, to speak to your own soul. This is not the same. This is different. My father said my hardest days are behind me, and I choose to believe him. This difficulty is under the new covenant of his care. This is how you reclaim your mind. This is how you retrain your heart to beat to the rhythm of my promise, not to the drumbeat of your past. I am giving you a new lens through which to view your life. It is the lens of completion, the lens that sees the trials of the past as a finished curriculum, not a continuing sentence. You have graduated from that school of suffering. The lessons were hard won, but they are etched into your wisdom now. You do not need to re-enroll. You are being ushered into a new room, a room of application, where you use the strength you gained, where you share the comfort you received, where you live from the depth that was forged in you. Can you feel the gentle pivot? It is happening even now as you listen. The axis of your world is tilting from a focus on surviving pain to a focus on receiving purpose. The energy you spent bracing, you can now spend building. The vigilance you spent scanning for threats, you can now spend savoring beauty. This is the restoration of your soul I have promised. It begins with this fundamental reorientation of your expectation. Expect good to follow you. Expect mercy to meet you in the morning. Expect my kindness to be the defining feature of your days to come. This is not wishful thinking. This is the substance of faith. I am anchoring your soul to this reality. Your hardest days are not ahead. They are part of the story, a chapter that has shaped you. But the plot is moving forward into redemption, into wholeness, into a peace that will feel, at first, like a strange and beautiful silence. Then let us go further into this new landscape. We have spoken of turning from the ghost of the past. We have spoken of lowering the shield. Now let us address the quiet question forming in your heart. If the hardest days are behind me, why do I still feel so tired? Why does my soul still ache with the echoes of the struggle? This, my child, is the fatigue of a long journey. It is not the same as the active pain of the battle itself. Think of a soldier who has come home from war. The battlefield is behind him, but his body still carries the tension. His ears still ring with the silence that is too quiet. His rest is still haunted by the adrenaline that has nowhere to go. Your spirit is in a similar sacred, tender state. The conflict may be receding, but your being is in recovery. This feeling is not a sign that more hardship comes. It is the profound and holy evidence that a great struggle has ended. Be gentle with yourself in this time. This is the season of convalescence. I am not rushing you. I am sitting with you in this quiet aftermath. There is no timeline for a heart to unlearn fear. There is no schedule for a soul to believe in safety again. So let us just breathe here for a while. In and out. With each breath, you are not breathing in dread. You are breathing in my peace. You are exhaling the residue of years of tension. This process is slow, and it is good. It is the deep cleaning of the inner places after a long siege. You may find old sorrows surfacing, not as new threats, but as wounds finally feeling safe enough to ask for healing. A memory may bring a fresh tear. A thought of what you endured may bring a wave of grief for the person you were, for the time that was lost. Do not shut this out. This is not a setback. This is the healing rain falling on parched ground. Let it come. I am here, catching every tear. They are no longer tears of despair, but tears of release. They are the sacred water that washes the dust of the long road from your eyes, so you can see the new horizon clearly. This is what I mean when I say the struggle is changing. The struggle now is not against an external force pressing you down. The struggle now is the internal, courageous work of letting go of the identity you formed in the crucible of pain. You learn to be resilient, to be strong, to be a survivor. These are noble things, but I have names for you that go beyond that. You are not just a survivor. You are a beloved. You are a sanctuary. You are a light bearer. The struggle now is to believe these new names, to shed the armor of the survivor and put on the garments of a child of peace. Do not be alarmed if joy feels unfamiliar, even frightening. When you have lived in a room of gray for so long, a sudden burst of color can be startling. It can feel too bright. You may be tempted to draw the shades, to return to the familiar dimness. Do not do that. Sit with the color. Let it be strange. Let it be gentle. The joy I bring does not come as a crashing wave that overwhelms. It comes as a gradual dawn that patiently lights every corner of your room. You do not have to manufacture it. You only have to allow it. To allow a smile to form without immediately waiting for the other shoe to drop. To allow a moment of contentment without analyzing it for hidden threats. This is the practice of peace. It is a practice. You will get better at it. Every time you choose to interpret a good moment as a sign of my faithfulness, and not as a cruel prelude to more pain, you strengthen the new muscle of trust. Every time you receive a blessing without guilt, you are building a new foundation. Brick by brick, moment by moment, we are constructing a new home for your spirit. A home that is not a fortress, but a dwelling place of safety and warmth. Look at your hands. They have been clenched, holding on, grasping for stability. I want you to open them. Turn your palms upward. This is the posture of reception. It is the posture of surrender. It says, I am not holding my world together anymore. I am receiving the world as a gift from my Father. In this posture, you cannot also hold on to the old fears. They will slip from your open hands. You are making room. Room for me to place new things in your life. Good things. Things that are for you, not against you. The fatigue you feel is, in part, the fatigue of carrying that old story. It is heavy. It is a weight you were never meant to bear indefinitely. So let us set it down, here together. Picture it. That burden of anticipation, that heavy pack filled with what-ifs and dread for tomorrow. Slide it from your shoulders. Let it fall at my feet. It does not belong to you on this new road. Your journey forward requires a lighter pack, one filled with provision for the day, with manna of mercy, with the living water of my presence. You are not packing for a desperate trek through a desert anymore. You are provisioned for a guided walk in a garden. Your hardest days are behind you. Let this truth be the balm that soothes the ache of recovery. The ache is real, but it is the ache of healing muscles, not of breaking bones. It is the tender feeling of life returning to a limb that has gone numb. It is a good pain, a hopeful pain. Trust this process as you have learned to trust me in the fire. For I am just as present in the mending as I was in the midst of the breaking. My purpose has not changed, to make you whole. Now, let us speak of the road itself, this new path you are upon. You have laid down the old burden. You are learning the rhythms of peace. But the road ahead, though not marked by the same hardships, is still a road. It stretches before you, and I know your heart wonders, what is this new way? If it is not defined by struggle, then what defines it? This, my beloved, is the way of purpose. It is the path where the strength you gained in the darkness becomes the light you carry into the world. The hardest days are behind you, not so you can sit in a field of ease and forget, but so you can rise with a compassion that is now bone deep, with a wisdom that is forged in authenticity. Your past trials were not meaningless. They were the preparation for this very journey. They were the training ground for your true calling, to walk in profound empathy and to be a living testament that the night does not last forever. You will find that your eyes now see people differently. You will recognize the hidden ache in others, the silent brace against a blow they expect. And from the well of your own experience, you will have a word, a presence, a simple understanding to offer. This is not a burden. It is a sacred privilege. This is why the hardness had to end, so you could turn your gaze outward again, not from a place of depleted exhaustion, but from a reservoir of hard-won grace. Your hardest days are behind you. so that you can now be a gentle guide for others who are still in the thick of their own. Do not think this means your life will be without challenge. A path with purpose has its own mountains to climb. But the climb is different. Before, you climbed because you were driven by fear, by necessity, by survival. Now, you will climb because you are drawn by a vision, by a calling, by a love that compels you. You will feel the burn in your muscles, but it will be the burn of reaching for something higher, not the agony of escaping something below. The wind in your face will feel like invitation, not like a gale trying to push you back. This is the fundamental shift, from being pushed by pain to being pulled by promise. I will be placing desires in your heart again. For so long, your only desire was for the pain to stop. That was a holy and valid prayer. But now, listen closely. What makes your spirit quicken? What quiet dream, long shelved as a frivolity in survival mode, is beginning to whisper again? That whisper is my voice. That quickening is my spirit, reviving the gardens that were left untended within you. Do not be afraid of those desires. They are not traps or false hopes. They are the compass points of your purpose. We will tend to them together, slowly, with great care and joy. Your relationships, too, will begin to transform. You have been in a season where you may have had to withdraw to protect your fragile energy. Now, you will find capacity returning. The capacity to listen without being drained. The capacity to give without feeling emptied. The capacity to connect without the shadow of your own pain obscuring the other person. You will learn the beauty of vulnerability that is not born of brokenness, but of chosen trust. You will build bridges, not out of necessity, but out of shared humanity. This new way is also marked by a different kind of stewardship. You once stewarded your last ounce of strength, your last fragment of hope. Now, you will learn to steward peace, to steward joy, to steward the blessings I pour out. This means receiving them with gratitude, tending to them and sharing them freely. It means recognizing that the abundance I give is not just for you, but flows through you. The manna I provide in this season is meant to be gathered and shared, so that others may taste and see that I am good. There will be moments of disbelief. You will walk in beauty, and a thought will cross your mind. This is too good. It cannot last. In that moment, remember. Remember the wilderness. Remember my faithfulness there. If I was faithful in the fire, will I not also be faithful in the field of blessing? My character does not change with your circumstances. I am the same God who sustained you in the emptiness, and I am the same God who rejoices to prosper you in the place of promise. Your stability comes from anchoring to my unchanging nature, not to the changing scenery of your life. Your hardest days are behind you. Let this truth free you to dream again, to plan again, to hope with a specificity that would have been too painful before. It is safe to plant seeds in this season. It is safe to build. It is safe to invest your heart. The frost that threatened to kill every tender thing has passed. The ground is fertile, and the rains are gentle. You are not building on a fault line of impending disaster. You are building on the solid rock of my spoken word over your life. This road is one of increasing clarity. The fog of anguish that clouded your vision is lifting. You will begin to see the connections, how that pain prepared you for this purpose, how that rejection made room for this alignment, how that ending was the necessary doorway to this beginning. You will not regret the journey, for you will see its divine choreography. The narrative of your life will shift from a story of, "Why did this happen to me?" to a story of, "Look what God has done with all of it." You are crossing over from a land of question marks into a land of exclamations of grace. The language of your soul is changing. This is the road of restored song. The melody may start softly, a hum in your heart, but it will grow. It is the sound of a future being embraced, not just endured. Now we arrive at the place of rest, not an end, but a beginning framed in profound peace. You have heard the promise. You have felt the pivot. You have seen the new path. Now let us seal this truth in the most quiet, most intimate space of all, your present moment. This moment, right here as you listen, is the first moment of your future that is free from the shadow of the hardest days. Breathe it in. This sacred air is for you. I want you to understand something fundamental. The declaration that your hardest days are behind you is not just about your external circumstances. It is about the occupation of your heart. I am establishing within you a permanent dwelling place of shalom, a peace that is not the absence of trouble, but the confirmed presence of wholeness, safety, and completeness. This peace will now be the governor of your life, the filter through which you interpret every event, the unshakable ground beneath your feet when smaller winds blow. You are not simply moving into a better season. You are being established as a new creation, rooted in this eternal truth. From this day forward, when a challenge arises, it will not shake your core identity as it once did. You will know, from a place deeper than thought, that this is not a return to the old hardship. It is a momentary friction on a journey that is, overall, trending toward light and life. You will face it with the resources of one who has been through the furnace and emerged, not with scars of weakness, but with seals of strength and a companion who never left your side. So let us settle this now with a prayer that is not a plea, but a proclamation. A proclamation from your heart to the heavens, from my heart to yours, that we are in agreement. Let this prayer be the gentle, firm foundation upon which all your tomorrows are built. Close your eyes, child. Listen to my voice within your own spirit, and let these words be your own. Father, I come before you in this quiet space. I have carried the weight of anticipation for too long. I have braced for storms, expecting the worst. Today, I choose to lay that burden down at your feet. I receive your word as truth spoken directly over my life. My hardest days are not ahead of me. They are behind me, healed and redeemed in your story for me. I release the ghost of past pain from dictating my future. I silence the voice that told me every joy was a prelude to sorrow. I lower the shield I have carried, and I choose to receive instead. I receive your peace as the new atmosphere of my life. I receive your purpose as the compass for my path. I receive your gentle guidance as my surest guide. Thank you for the strength forged in the fire. Thank you for the faithfulness that never let me go. Now, I thank you in advance for the peace that will follow me, for the joy that will surprise me, for the purpose that will awaken me. I am stepping out of the narrative of survival and into the story of abundant life. I declare that my heart is a fertile ground for your goodness. I declare that my eyes are open to see your blessings. I declare that my hands are open to receive and to give from the overflow. I am not who I was. I am your beloved, walking in the freedom of this promise. Anchor me in this truth when memories whisper. Steady me in this confidence when obstacles appear. Remind me, gentle spirit, that the nature of my struggle has changed forever. I am moving from strength to strength. My story is one of redemption, and this is my new chapter. I rest here now, not in a denial of reality, but in the greater reality of your promise. I trust you, not just for yesterday's rescue, but for tomorrow's grace. I am safe. I am held. My hardest days are behind me. My brightest days are within me, for you are my light. Let it be so. Amen.